Ladies and gentlemen, good night. Protocol being already established, I will just humbly accept it and move on, because the chairman of the steering committee already charged me. I only have 5 minutes. And for those of you who know, our chairman of the steering committee, Mr. Blake, Michael Blake, knows that he's a stickler for time. And very briefly, when Pastor Troy was speaking, it reminded me of exactly the situation that we're in, and I've spoken about it. We are a coming together of different energies, different purposes, different spirits, but with a common goal. We have our own and individual ways of achieving, but we are all heading in the same direction. And that is what is important. And it is with that in mind that I accepted the challenge, because too many of us are very good at talking. Too little of us are good at doing. In my day, in the Methodist Youth Fellowship, and I'm talking way over 40 years, my then leader said to me, remember one thing, in any organization, you have 95% jawbone and 5% backbone. Decide which one you're going to be. That, Pastor Troy, was a charge for me. And being the son of a mother who eventually became my father because he passed on after 3 years, it was not an easy upbringing. It was forged in strict discipline. And permit me to say these words, because in those days you were told you either do or die. She looked at me in my face and said, let me tell you something, in this damn house you do, there is no dying inside here. I didn't even have an opportunity to die. Oh dear. I had to do. But all in all, when you look back, you could understand where she was coming from. Never had the luxuries of what we have nowadays to fashion and to help all the helping aids that we have nowadays, to say, oh, you do this that way, you do that way. Every week you have a conference as to how to raise the children, how to do all these things. It was just plain old back to school stuff. You do this. We never had the opportunity to communicate like the kids nowadays do. Many times it was, you just do as you're told. Yes, I was from the era when children were supposed to be seen and not heard. Now, of course, we come and we see these things and we know there are certain things that are not necessarily good about that. But I understand with the limitations that she had and that they had, she was doing her best, using all the ammunition in her armory to get it right for us. And we look back, and nowadays, some of us, I hear it all the time, we talk about the good old days. And back then, this wasn't that, and that wasn't this. That is all true. But remember one thing. All of our parents were looking forward. They were looking to today. So question, why do we want to go back? Are we that weak? Are we that helpless? Are we that clueless? Why do we want to go back? They were looking forward, and they are, wherever they are, resting happily, waiting for us to take the charge that they have given us with the little that they had and move forward. So the understanding is, in as much as we appreciate what happened then, and as we say, the good old days and all that stuff, there is no other person who is prepared to deal with the situations of today more than you. Not your parents, not your children. You are here in this time because the good Lord has endowed you with all that is necessary to move forward. So yes, there are challenges. We know of them all the time. We speak about them, we lament them. There is violence, there is crime, call it whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if we do not act first in our individual capacities, secondly, as communities, and thirdly, as a nation, we will forever sing the same old song. We will find everybody else to blame but ourselves. We will blame, of course, the boogeyman, the government. We will blame the police. They are never doing the job. We even have the audacity to blame the church. Church ain't doing what they're supposed to do. And you know what? We could even throw in God. We blame him too. After all, God is the man who sent the woman in the garden to eat the fruit and give us to eat. So he got to take the blame too. But the fact of the matter is, after we finish all that blaming, and you lie down at nights, who's there with you? It's you and you and you alone. You have the charge. You have the responsibility to take it beyond where you are. Accept everything we have been given, whatever it is. This is the hand that we have been dealt. Brothers and sisters, for whatever it is worth, we could look at the history of this blessed country. From the pre-colonial, it starts 2900 BC. You go into the time when the English came in, the Thomas Warners, all the way down. The Bloody Point massacre. Blood was running in the streets like water for days. How could we forget that? Do we ever remember it? I'll be the first to challenge you. I wasn't born here, but I am here. But I know it, and I hope most, if not all of us, really know it. Because there's a certain amount of appreciation that we felt that we can get, and we should get out of our history. But there's something that is very, very interesting to me. In spite of all the catastrophe, disasters, whatever it is, the Kittitian Nivision spirit has always bounced back. Look at it for yourselves. In everything, it doesn't matter. We have the resilience. We have the stuff that greatness is made of. As the Calypsonian says, we just have to look below the surface. Brothers and sisters, as a group, we take this charge to move forward, doing the best we can. Small steps. Small steps. No big hoorah. We are not going to be lamenting the problems. We are going to operate from a position of solutions. That's what we are about. And I would always admit, we might have some answers. We might have no answers at all. But what we have is an undying, unwavering commitment to resolve whatever problems are confronting us in whichever way we can by the grace of God. Too many of us miss that part. We become selfish, self-centered, arrogant, obstinate, and we have all the answers. And at the end of the day, nothing is achieved. We look at the boys' brigade. How do we, as men, expect for them to graduate and be the kinds of men that we want them to be if we are not standing as the men that we want them to be? How do we do that? You see, we are steeped in hypocrisy. That is what it is. We love to condemn, we love to criticize, but we don't want to hold the torch. And all I'm saying, as a male counsel for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, we are going to do, with your help, with the help of God, everything that is possible within our limitations. We start very, very small steps, like the brigade. Keep the boys in our arms, in our hands, in our grasp. Gentlemen, change your conversation. Sometimes I am appalled that you listen or you try to listen to what passes for conversation. And God help us all. But, as I say, we are not here to condemn. The fact of the matter is, those people who are now not able to convene a proper conversation, they were failed by their elders. And if we allow it, that cycle is going to continue. So, brothers and sisters, I beg you, please, for the sake of God and man, for your own survival, think about it and allow this group and all other groups that have the courage to be, please put your personalities, put your differences aside. Roll up your sleeves, put your shoulders to the wheels, and let us go. There is no other way. For those young ones who are technologically advanced, let me challenge you. There would never be a day when the brightest brain could have an app on the phone and say, well, there's a gun bullet coming, put up the app. It is not going to happen. And stop thinking that your life is a video game. When you get shot, you're dead. And many times some of the youngsters die and they don't even know that they did it. Exactly the point. But that is sad. We need to have our value system changed, revisited. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the St. Kitts, Nevis, National Men's Council, on behalf of the executive, we accept the charge, we accept the responsibility, and we give you our unwavering commitment to do the best we can. So, help us, God. Thank you.